Remember that Arcade1Up claw machine that I made a video about a few weeks ago? Well, it looks like we finally got some new information on that thing, so why don't we get right into things and check it out. Credit where credit is due, I saw this first on Twitter from a post according to P-Dubs, where he made a video talking about this. It's from an article over on thegamer.com, so we'll check this out now and we'll read it in case any of you watching this haven't seen that video from P-Dubs yet. Arcade1Up has branched out from cabinets to create its very first claw machine. It says arcades might quickly be becoming a thing of the past, but that doesn't mean the games we play in them in the way that they were intended to be played need to be lost to history. Arcade1Up has been recreating arcade cabinets you can have in your own homes for years, and now it's branching out into another corner of the arcade business by creating its very first claw machine. I actually said this in the last video I made about this claw machine. I thought it was a good idea for them to branch out away from just the video game cabinets and start looking into other things that arcades had to present more new things to the customers. Because to me, arcades aren't just arcade cabinets. It's not just Street Fighter and Pac-Man and Galaga. Those games are great and they belong in anybody's arcade, but I want the claw machine. I want the skee ball. I want the basketball game. I want all of that stuff in my arcade. And I'm glad they're actually taking a chance and trying out some new stuff for a change, instead of just giving us the 20th Pac-Man cabinet. Surely none of you would sit there and tell me that you would prefer another Pac-Man cabinet, no matter what it looks like, to something brand new, something they haven't done before. The article continues, claw machines are as synonymous with arcades as arcade machines. There's an arcade in Japan that has 477 of them. Arcade1Up appears to have realized that and has shifted its focus momentarily to give claw machine aficionados the chance to buy a full-size claw machine they can have in their own home. The claw machine is 66 inches high, costs $499, and pre-sales for it will begin on October 1st, 2024. The standard Arcade1Ups on a riser usually come out to around 61 inches tall, I think, so this is going to be taller than that, which I think is a pretty good size, especially if it's just about matching the Big Blue. Yeah, this could be a good size for this thing. That $500 price tag though, I think we need to see the claw in action first before we determine whether or not that's a fair price or not. If it's gonna be a bit wonky, then I could see people passing on it. You know, if it's not gonna be able to hold much weight, or it doesn't move well, or if it breaks too easily, that might affect things, but I think it's best to just wait until somebody actually gets their hands on it and see how it operates. We probably weren't even supposed to know about this thing yet until this particular article dropped, but hey, somebody found it on Booksamillion's website, so what can you do? Back to the article. As was the case with arcade machines during the arcade era's heyday, the biggest problem with claw machines is how much money you need to use them. That's naturally not a problem with Arcade1Up's claw machine. After paying for it, you won't have to insert a coin ever again. You can replicate what feels like the impossible difficulty of actually getting something out of a claw machine though. Arcade1Up's claw machines have 3 difficulties: easy, normal, or scam. I'm unsure if it's even possible to win a prize when playing on scam mode. We'll have to wait and see. Now, I've looked at a few like countertop claw machines, and they do allow you to set the difficulty on those, usually a numerical value, but Arcade1Up is deciding to keep it pretty simple here with 3 difficulty options. The hardest one being scam is pretty funny, and like this article points out, it's gonna be interesting to see just how hard it is to win on that setting. Now, unlike those mini claw machines, this one will not take coins. Now, on the one hand, not having to put coins in this thing will make it much easier to use, and you don't have to deal with all the tokens and maybe losing some of them at some point, so that's definitely the easier thing to do here. On the other hand, I kind of want some of the things in my home arcade to operate from coins. I don't know, I just would like to have that, because I feel like that would just give it a little bit more of that authentic feel that I'm looking for. And I know that there are people out there who think the same thing, because I've seen people mod their Arcade1Ups to have coin slots in them. And I'm not talking about just adding a molded coin door like Arcade1Up does to most of its machines now. I'm talking about a fully functional one. So in terms of the simplicity of it, I'm a big fan of that. You don't have to deal with all the extra dealing with coins and stuff. But there's a part of me that wishes it had it. Anyway, what can you win in this thing? Well, this article's about to tell us. As for what you can win in your very own claw machine, that's up to you. It comes with 12 colored capsules, kind of like the ones in Astrobot's Gacha machine, that you can fill with whatever you like. Maybe the prizes can be Astro related, so you can replicate the Gacha machine PlayStation is taking to Tokyo Game Show without having to travel halfway across the world. The machine has a numeric lock, making it easy to reload, but that also ensures others can't cheat. I do appreciate the move of them including a lock for the door. That way somebody can't just walk by and mess with you while you're trying to win something. I do think it's kind of funny though that they did this, because like this is going to be in your home. It's not going to be like for commercial settings or anything like that. So like what, your kid or your spouse walks by and just grabs a toy out of it, what are you going to do? And I think it's a very good move that they're actually giving you something to put in the cabinet. Although the capsules by themselves aren't prizes, it will help some people if all they have maybe is small little bitty things that they want to put in there. That way the claw can actually pick them up if they're too small, and as long as they're not heavy, you could play the game with those. As for some things you could put inside the capsules, maybe sweets, toys, or the car keys of people visiting your house. These are by no means official recommendations, but it would be pretty amusing to watch someone who has been annoying you try to get their keys out of a claw machine that's on scam mode. If you're looking to create a home arcade that needs more than just a claw machine, Arcade1Up's NBA Jam Deluxe cabinet is also available now. I'm actually not sure what I would want to put in this thing yet. I generally lean towards stuffed animals, little plushies, something that the claw can just go down there and most of the time should be easy to grab onto. But the capsules included in this thing are making me kind of think, what else could I put in there? How else could I make this more interesting? Now before we get out of here, I do want to point out something that I mentioned to somebody else in a comment on a previous video, and I think P-Dubs mentioned it in his video on the claw machine. If this thing is just entirely their own design and they don't have any outside influence on what it's supposed to be like, then I hope they'll offer people some customization options, maybe 1 or 2 different designs for this thing when it finally does release, because I said this before, it is a pretty generic looking cabinet. It's not bad, but there's just not a whole lot of excitement going on for the whole overall design. How do you guys feel about Arcade1Up making something other than arcade cabinets? Do you care at all about claw machines or any sort of other kind of game like that? Or would you rather them focus on getting new licenses from games they haven't gotten yet, or maybe trying to reacquire the licenses they may have lost? Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see from Arcade1Up going forward. And thank you for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to support the channel further, you can donate over on Ko-fi or become a member of the channel. And that's all I've got for you guys this time. So now, I'm going to see if I can calculate how many of those little green aliens from Toy Story I can shove into this claw machine.